I do a lot of advisory for blockchain and AI companies. If they had asked me as an advisor, I would have said yes, because that would definitely a concept and a team I feel that resonated and stood out. So Sports Leisure for me will be the company I would rate number one in this review. The second company was SkyChain. SkyChain is a healthcare application. And I also thought that healthcare, apart from it does something really good for the community and for all of us, had a really good understanding and grasp of what it actually is they need to do, and how artificial intelligence can help their business, can help their insight, and can help me as a consumer, which I thought was really important. Although the roadmap I thought of SkyChain was a bit vague, wasn't very ambitious, but they do have a good vision of what they want to do, what to achieve, and also what they have achieved so far in the past. So SkyChain was for me the company I would rate as number two. And then the third company was iGlobe.net. And again, that's also a healthcare related company, and specifically focusing on eye problems. And one of the things they really pointed out in the beginning, what the problem is, that there is a growing population with eye problems, and that actually less and fewer eye doctors. So the problem becomes that we don't have enough eye doctors to look at all the patients. So we need to use technology in order to address all the patients. So they come up with an idea in sharing knowledge, sharing tools, sharing opportunities, and artificial intelligence could play a good role and a good part in that, as to how we can actually help patients with eye problems in a cheap way, remotely, all over the world, and also that eye doctors themselves learn from each other and patients can learn from each other. However, I thought that the explanation of how artificial intelligence, how are you going to use it and as your core resource, was still a bit vague. So it was more the ambition than the actual application yet. But I like to be pleasantly surprised, and if I looked at all the people involved in the team, I was impressed with that. So I do think they will actually be able to pull that off. If I might give one more company, that would be a fintech company, and my company number 4 would be Crypto Index. And Crypto Index is, well, basically they want to find the holy grail. What is going to be the next Bitcoin? Who is going to make most money in the future? We all look at the charts. We all look at the exchanges. You know, what's the best token or the best coin to invest in? Which I need to hodl, which I need to sell, which I need to buy. So comparing that with artificial intelligence, looking at trading patterns, looking at history, and extrapolating that to actually actionable actions, buy, sell, or hold, I think is a perfect opportunity and a perfect application of AI. But I must say, the Crypto Index, one of the things I thought was a bit weird is that the CTO, and the CTO, in my view, would be the core person responsible for AI, was stuck all the way in the back of the team. And I thought, well, he should be center stage, because that's the person who is actually going to do it. So I thought it was weird, but I do believe that would be a company would have a lot of use for AI as well.
Okay, Mr. Hans, thanks a lot. Very much appreciated your opinion, and I'm happy to have an interview with you. I think our audience also have it, also like it, and going to love it in the future. I'm also have to mention that today we're talking about artificial intelligence, and we have great sponsor Kaspersky Lab and is the solution for the blockchain security. And we're happy to be secure that kind of distinguished company which are working worldwide. Thanks a lot again. See you. Don't be aware. We are be back in a couple of the minutes. Hello, dears. Today is our first day of our great battle within 50 companies which are fighting together to be the first, or to be, I know, to be somehow distinguished in this crypto market, on this blockchain world. And I'm proud to talk about today's sponsors. Our sponsor for today is Huobi Exchange, the biggest exchange in Korea. And we are ready to welcome our first interviewer. Here is CEO of HSBC, great blogger, great vlogger in Korea. Kim, you are welcome. I'm ready, this.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on the panel. Thank you.
Okay, Kim, just please give me information a bit about you. What are you doing? What's your interest in this industry? And then we go ahead trying to understand what's going on inside.
Okay. Well, my name is Harold Kim. My career is with traditional banking. I worked at HSBC for about 7 years at Global Banking. And what I did back then, this goes back more than a decade ago. So I was in banking and mostly global banking. So that would mean that I was taking care of my clients, which were most of the time they were the investment banks, Credit Suisse, Goldman, those guys. Now, then I moved on to cryptocurrency about 6 years ago, and I started investing myself, and and I did it as a hobby plus some sort of my money management, funds management. But now I made a full time job, and I founded HSBC, and I'm a consultant for about 50 ICO projects so far.
Oh, perfect. As I don't know why, what I have heard. Yes, you're talking about that your previous employer being HSBC, and now you have the same kind of your own company, HSBC. Is it somehow being, I don't know, familiar with each other?
Yeah, you can find the resemblance. The one before has a B. Now my company has a bit, so it's just Bitsy.
Why am I talking about? Because my company also called MBA, but it's not Master Business Administration; it's Master Blockchain Administration. That's why
That's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah.
We are aware that mining in Korea is been huge, and it had a very good point. And we are also aware that you are also have somehow been familiar with mining in Korea. Can you please describe what you're doing in that sphere?
Um. At first, I did my homework. I went to those sites, so-called mining farms in Korea in 2016, and it was still a bit quiet in 2016.
Mm.
But as Ethereum and Bitcoin started gaining more um, popularity in early 2017, a lot more people came into the mining fields and investing in these graphic cards. And the price of those cards grew exponentially. And at one point, I noticed the price for a, um, a set of mining for Dash was nearly $6,000, which I
Wow.
thought was really high. But so I did my due diligence and I visited about a little less than 10 mining farms in Korea when it was really hot. So I kind of know what I am talking about.
Okay, I see. I think the same hype goes all over the world because the same thing is happening in Moscow, in Europe, as well as in America.
Year 2017. Of course,
Wow.
the entire cryptocurrency market is following the same trend. Now, one thing unique about Korea is that all these mining centers, you usually the ones who are running these mining farms were able to apply to use the industrial electricity, which meant the cost of monthly bill was much cheaper.
Yeah.
But I guess the biggest concern I had with them is not on the business side, because I think mining is a pretty good business by itself, but a lot of safety issues have surfaced when I visited all of these mining farms. What I noticed that was most dangerous to me was that these graphic cards are so stacked together so tightly, and there's not enough room to walk around. And the cooling was done with a simple fan. It was really primitive, and the temperature inside those mining farms was just unbearable. But when I asked about whether they are insured, none of them were. So it was kind of a risk for me. So I tend to look at it from a safety point of view. I thought that some of these mining farms were not really equipped, but still, it was a pretty good business. I mentioned that at one point the Dash mining machines were at highest I've seen was $6,000, plus they were getting paid maintenance fees off their mined coins. So so it's kind of natural that it lost some popularity recently.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry for my question. Are you a Dash miner or not now?
Um, I don't have any mining machines now. I kind of, my bank, I trade my own coins. So once Ethereum was back to about $90, I bought Ethereum again,
Okay.
and I just like to keep it simple for now.
Okay, perfect. Because we're talking about mining companies, I think you are be aware that the list we are now in battle, and
Mhm.
we keep to know that. What's your opinion about top three companies which are mentioned about our battle? Just rank it somehow.
Oh yeah, I found some. Well, I do have my list of top five. Some of the other ones were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think my number one would have to be MindBlock. They're doing the STO, and I think it's going to be very interesting that they're willing to share their company with their own coin. And I thought it was quite interesting. Of course, it's an early stage, so this is not me saying everybody should jump into their ICO. I wish they would be successful and follow through. If they are able to follow through in their business, I think MindBlock has a pretty good chance of becoming really successful. And my other top two are Hydrominer and Bratno BS. Those are
Mm-hmm.
all they share one common thing. I found this out um, after I ranked them. It just came out that both of them are hydro related, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of interesting that it just happened to be like that.
Okay. The next one. You are
Oh,
mentioning 3 of them. Yes, you have a 5. We'll be happy
yeah.
to listen about all of them.
So number 1 is MindVlog. Number 2, Hydrominer. Number 3 is Buratino BS. And number 4 is MeMiner. And it's close. I would say number 4 is a tie between MeMiner and Nordcoin.
Okay.
So I thought they were quite interesting, especially Nordcoin. I saw their YouTube video and seemed like they have seemed to me like they have these container boxes, and they have all these self-sustained cooling abilities, and they were connected to this electricity tower, and it was really unique. And what that the mobility is quite interesting for them. I think a MeMiner is a similar concept, if I'm not wrong, but I thought it was quite interesting, but I thought they could improve on some points. They're really interesting business. Same with MeMiner. They have I saw a photo of them with in a compound with these kind of look like a trailer, and I guess it's all filled with the graphic cards. But all in all, what I feel is that the ones that received the smallest votes for me was the ones that are using solar panels, because that oftentimes they're not really environmentally friendly. So I know there was one that was concentrated on the one with Africa. I kind of disagree with them.
Okay. We got your opinion. Yes, very good. Also, our online viewers, don't miss our votes. Also, we're waiting for your votes for your ranking. These kind of companies. Today, we are talking about mining. Now, Kim, I have the last question. Because our today's sponsor is a crypto exchange, I want to know your opinion about initial exchange offering, new kind of ICO ongoing on launchpad of the crypto exchanges.
Oh wow, IEOs. I think it's a very convenient tool that instead of the ICOs really struggling for attention now, if the users are able to find out about a certain new project, which is a very promising one, and they can decide to get on with it in their platform of their choice. So they can go on to they can log into their favorite cryptocurrency exchange, and they can easily and very simple process make an investment, and it's very helpful for the ICO projects. But however, there is an upside that people don't really have the freedom. Some people might not want it to be tied up in this exchange, like exchange A, or if they can do it on exchange B. So it kind of limits their choice of the ones who have preference of using a different exchange. But our world is not perfect, but I think the exchanges who are open to use this IEO platform, I think they're doing a good job so far. ICOs are on their own has not been too successful this year. However, a lot of these exchanges already have the user base, and they can provide a simple platform. KYC is already done, and most of them are already compliant with the AML requirements. Yeah. So I think it's a win-win situation for all.
Yeah, also win-win situation for the project, because they are not looking for marketing. They are not looking for listing. They are not looking for a huge, implementation of the blockchain platform or something else. Yes, I think it's win-win situation. Thank you, Kim, for your time. I'm really happy to have you with us. Yes, today. I want to say that we are today on the day 1, and don't go away from your screens. We are being back within 2 or 3 minutes. Thanks a lot to all of you.
Day 1 of the New Economy Conference, Battle of the Companies. Today, I'm really excited to talk to Jörg Molt, the co-founder of Bitcoin and the founder of the Satoshi School. Hello, Jörg. How are you today?
Hello, Victor. Yeah, fine. So I'm very proud to be in your show today. It's a good thing you started here, and yeah, let's have a look.
Well, you've been with Bitcoin for a long time. You've seen the whole industry grow. Where did it all come from?
I think first in the first row, I think when it started in 2009 with Bitcoin for the mass adoption in 2012, until the Bitcoin price was dropping, it was more an emphasis that people were thinking about. Wow, we can use our own money, we can handle it in our way, and they had more the spirit to be free with money. They have a new asset class which they don't recognize before. And there was a spirit in there, like pioneers going digging for gold. And today it changed to the commercial things, to the business. So they all jumped on the train and create all the stuff around. So this is the main change in there. So the philosophy has come to a business, and from the business point out, you see starting all the assets management and everything is in there. The topic of blockchain and Bitcoin has been separated. Yeah, and we see both sides of the story gain. So the philosophers in Bitcoin are gaining more attraction today because they say, okay, digital control is something, yeah. But on the other hand, you see Goldman and Sachs and all big companies run in the asset class for Bitcoin and gain revenue. And so there are a lot of space for new ideas and new economies in there.
So you feel like Bitcoin got us away from some of these traditional financial companies, and now these big financial giants are starting to come back.
Yes, they start to come back because, as you see, is when ICOs was rising or STOs now rising, a lot of startups have the possibility to raise capital without going for the banks, having all the discussions about. They just start and have to attract investors, and that's a huge opportunity for people coming out of nothing, you know.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you have to be an accredited investor, then how can you participate?
Participation is one thing. You need only two things. You need a strong idea behind what you want to deliver. Then you have to check for the market if someone else is delivering it already there and it is running good or not, or is your idea unique? And then you start to go for the internet, searching for bounty manager or something like that, who connects you to the world of ICO financials and STO financials. There is a huge market in there, but most of them, I would say, the successful, they have a prototype of what they want to present, and that's, in my opinion, the best way to start.
What's your definition of the fintech market?
The fintech market is something I think they do not really know where they have to be placed in all these things. They're looking around, they want to do some custody management on blockchain technology. They try out to use some transactions of assets in blockchain or ownership management or something like that. But it is quite the same from the old world now in a digital form. You see no inventions in there. So it's only converting, you know. And with converting this technology from the old markets to the new markets, you convert also the problems. They haven't got regarded that this is a chance to make a change, like that. They only use the old structures, the old rules to make new economy. And you see a lot of them failed in the last times to provide something working, you know.
What are some of those historical problems that you'd like to see change?
The historical problem is that, for example, I would say KYC is a historical problem. If you think about money laundering and terrorism, financial, they do it much faster today with offshore accounts because they are just working, you know. So, and money laundering, say tax saving or something like that. It's depending on that what the government is declaring. For example, we could make partnerships with the Iran, then the US government is saying Iran is forbidden, and in that moment you have black money, you know. So the necessary is for me in the future, and more people using Bitcoin for going a different way. is that we come to a conclusion that governments accept that we have a change in the system how we use money and in the system how we use transaction of value, but in a new way. And it's not disruptive like everyone is telling. It's a part of a society who is changing. It's more an evolution, not a revolution. And see, we have talked JPEG into Bitcoins. We had all the concerns about that, but finally they understand it's better to accept that the society is going this way and they will be will to work with us together, but more rules send them to the underground. It's always the same, you know?
Right. So a lot of the same problems that we've had are perhaps part of human nature.
Yes, it's part of that. So I give you a good shot in a new terms. So everyone is talking about regulating a KYC, but no one is talking about regulating the OTC market, who is dumping the prices on the market because they buy outside the market and push the money into the regulated exchanges and dumps the price. If you do it on the stock exchange, you have some problems, some real problems with the government and regulators.
That brings us to another question about IEOs. We've seen the market changing from ICOs and then to STOs, and now people are starting to come up with initial exchange offerings. What's your opinion about this new change?
You think everyone wants to run sooner or later a crypto-based ETF or something like that? And if they have recognized that the SEC and the governments not follow up with ETFs, so they need a proposal to have a step in between. And the IEs are a good thing to go for that, to prove that could work and try to start again to raise an ETF. But at the moment, I see the market very difficult. We have 10 up to 2% of the companies which gain capital and just still alive, and we had 95% of all these projects running into money and running out of money by fail with the system, you know. And it's all about trust building at the moment, and I think that kinds like that needs a very good basic.
So what's happening to all these failed projects? What's happening to their teams, and what's happening to the investors?
I think the most problem is that they have all lack of education. So the typical ICO is promising you in the past that you will run something on the blockchain or on a distributed ledger blockchain or something like that. But we can't do anything on the blockchain. We can combine some numbers and date stamps as a certificate, and this certificate can work that we say, okay, let's make a transaction for the certificate, or the transaction is regarded to say D apps or something like that. But the D app at the same is not on the blockchain, you know, it's only a transaction which is acting on something. And most of them do not understand that field. And we have a lot of developers who run into nothing, and that's why the companies fail, because the description of the project, what they really want, and the necessaries of the developers, they talk each other in different languages. And that's a lack of knowledge. I believe that's the most problem why a lot of good ICOs with very good ideas have starved in the past time. But I see also a change, because more and more investors start to educate themselves in a way that they understand what the ICO companies and STOs are talking about, so they can make more clarify which step is necessary to do and what we can do. And there are a lot of ICOs, very good ICOs out there with very good ideas, and have a chance that they come alive.
So do you think that it makes a big difference if you're investing in an STO or a utility coin?
Not at the moment, because from the regulator point, it's okay. You have the risk management in there. So if you're an STO, you have to back up the STO tokens, for example, with assets. That makes it more complicated, because you need a government decision in there. And I think this is for many people a hurdle to start. But a lot of companies working to make it easier.
Well, if you own part of a company, or you own some coin within a company, like, is there a difference? What's pushing the actual concept of how the blockchain is going to improve? Is there a difference there?
I think the basic problem is in the first, let's say good running projects always had a crowd they can build on top. The crowd was there. So most of the projects have lack of crowd. So we have to invest in a lot of the marketing and everything to build a crowd which is follow you up and is working with you, you know. And this is
Right.
also if you're an SDO. With an SDO, it's much harder to find a crowd which is following you up because they have to follow the rules of the SDO before they can invest, you know. And
Right.
most of the investors have niche products they want to support, and that's tricky, you know. But now we have the situation because we have seen last year a lot of scams, you know.
Right. What aspect of the traditional financial community are being disrupted, could potentially be replaced by the benefits of blockchain?
First, I think they will sooner or later they will lose the whole asset arrangements to a public blockchain. I think at the moment many people use private blockchains to do this, but asset management needs clarify and makes that means trackability. So I think that the traditional asset management they will lose to the companies who provides combination of private blockchains to their own company with, I would say, a combination of a public blockchain to show out where the assets are at the moment. And that's what the big challenge is for a bank, for example. Think about all the management in there, thinking about the deposit management, for example. I think sooner or later, this will everyone can run this because we will get a lot of platforms making it very easily for you to run your assets and manage your assets by your own. It will become a lot of easier than today.
Okay. Now, the government is obviously has all the power in this world, various governments. Is it easy for them just to turn a switch somewhere and all of a sudden they control the blockchain?
No, I think not. In a DAT environment, it's easy for a government to survive because they want also to track the companies and taxing and everything. So you can easily connect the DAT ledger with the government departures and provide them with the necessary data in a good way and in an environment. But if it comes to think about Bitcoin, it is impossible. They think they have now all the regulations in Bitcoin universe, but when we started in Japan, I recognized more than 3 million people in Japan working with Bitcoins by using it is a monetary system, not as an asset class. And if
Right.
people start to use it as money, every government is lost if it is not changing the way it is acting and start to change the way how it sees Bitcoins.
So you're a true libertarian. You feel like Bitcoin is going to change government. It's not government going to change Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why we have that's why I run a school project. We also teaching governments, and when we come to Japan's government years ago and talking about Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin as a currency, we had all the concerns in there. But the Japanese understand if 3 million people use Bitcoins and no one is paying taxes because they leave our system, you know, they have also serious problems to keep up the community necessaries for healthcare or whatever you want. Yeah. So they have to arrange with these communities, and that's what happens. But as we see today, is Japan a better government than before? I think no, it's the same, but they have an add-on. So they have the gift for the people.
Well, thank you so much for your insight. As you know, everybody is voting for various companies here on the Newconomy website,
Yes.
and you've taken a look at 10 interesting companies.
Yes.
And have you come up with your opinion about which companies are doing or are doing things according to your vision?
Yes. I've looked at the companies in there, and I picked up 3 kinds of company which fulfill the necessaries I have when I look at a company. So a company, for my opinion, must do some favor for everyone. So it's a company who has a good idea, but I look also, is this idea transpondable? Is this realizing? You can realize it, or is it only an idea, you know? So from a technical point to make it happen, when they go for tokenizing the company and raising money, it's very important for me to know, is there a chance that they will survive? And yeah, I found 3 interesting ideas which are not so common than other companies and a little bit of unique in there. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
We're ready. We're all waiting.
you're waiting, right?
This is the
Everyone
big,
is
this is the
looking
big
at
moment.
who would it be? So first, I decided to select Mobo. Mobo comes out. I have a lot of projects in Africa, and Mobo was saying, okay, first we become asset trading and everything, and we make smart banking for tokens. We will go for the African market. So that was a point where I was saying, okay, that's a good start. There is a huge market out there with people who want to come into in all of this, and they have been forgotten a little bit because no one was taking care in this market in the African country. So more about, I was very astonished that they let you create your ICOs and STOs on their own platform, so you can easily set up the necessaries and the dependings, and they provide you with all the information, and the platform is like an automatism. So it is very easy for entrepreneurs without a technical background to use their platform, and that was something I was thinking is a good thing. And also they have an education level in there, so they educated people in all of this. And some, I would say, Mogo is a good idea and has a good chance to start on the market for banking in this way.
Is that your number one pick or your number three pick?
This is my number one pick up, because they also want to provide crypto cards where you can spend your cryptos and everything. They see the whole economy as a part of a society and not only as a part of a company. So they have very deeply thoughts in there how the economy can work in there, and they are very far away from different concepts and how the circulation of money is working in there, and they have a clear vision.
Good, fantastic. Is it a distant second or is it a close second?
It's a close second, because I would say the third place and the second place different, because they're more hardware related. So I choose for the second place, and fintech I was going for CTR. Good. CTR, I see all the problems with internet and everything. So for me, I've always supported Blockstream, and we can see we can send Bitcoins via satellite, so we are independent from the internet. So when it comes to 5G and transponders and everything, and setting up GSM modules, CTR has a fantastic solution, make it easy to set up this masts, and in a very efficient and cheap way. That's the problem, what they described. It's very expensive to set up, like, think about Huawei is investing in 5G, millions, dozens of millions euros, and I think CTR can set up this in a very clear way and very cheap. So the concept, when you see the movie from CTR and what they describe in the background and the white paper and everything, it's a good start to go there, because we all know communication satellites and everything in the space. Even they go for direct over this radio waves. This is the future. I think this is a huge market for hardware and for delivering, and there is an necessary on the market. I have read a lot of that, and the demand is there, and they are just right in time with their idea. And I think if they have a strong investor behind, they can make it.
Good.
Yeah, great. So the last one I was going for was Bitcoin OX. So Bitcoin OX is simply said only a wallet, but everyone is today looking for a wallet which has high security, and on the other hand, many people look for multi-currency wallet. So the Bitcoin OX has a lot of features in there. Think about multi-signatures. They have started to work around that you can keep your own keys, and you can recover the wallets each time with the passphrase. They are compatible to different technologies. And I see this is very clear and easy wallet, which you can understand without any technical background, and you can send easily. Also, you can in the future store your tokens on these wallets, and they have a lot of upside potential in there, because they are compatible to several systems also and token security.
Fantastic. Now, everybody else who's participating in the Newconomy conference, you can also do your voting. You can go ahead and vote right now, and we're going to find out the winners.
Yes.
In just a couple of days. I would like to thank the co-founder of Bitcoin and founder of Satoshi School.
Was a pleasure.
I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Huobi. It makes more people engage in creating a better future of crypto assets. Thank you so much, Jörg.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck for everybody's participating.
Bitcoin for Beginners, and welcome to the Market Challenge, which is actually the battle of the top 50 companies. Today is the day one of the Newconomy conference, and we'll be getting the thoughts and votes from various experts from the blockchain industry worldwide. During these 5 sessions, all of these distinguished guests will share their opinion on what's going on in the market nowadays and give their insights on what to expect in the future. So before we go any further, I want to thank our sponsors, Bitcoin OX Wallet, which is a cryptocurrency wallet. It's multi-currency and it's free to use. So today I have with me here John from CNC Blockchain. Welcome, John.
How are you doing today?
Great. Now, if you don't mind sharing with our audience a little bit about yourself and what you're working on.
Sure. So I'm the CEO of CNC Blockchain. We're a blockchain enterprise advisory consulting company. So helping organizations, primarily senior leadership teams, understand what blockchain is, why it's important, how it's going to impact their organizations, how to prepare for it, but also what blockchain platforms they can look at to leverage, and how to really find the right teams or experts to help them build their applications.
Awesome, thank you. And what about your personal background before that, and why your interest in this space?
Sure. For a number of years, I was in the Oracle application space on the education consulting services side, so helping companies with installation of their business performance management applications, where the CFOs of organizations use it for budgeting, consolidating, and forecasting. And I got into blockchain by chance, like a lot of people, through reading an article. I was at the airport, and someone said, blockchain technology is going to change the world. It's unhackable. And reading a line like that, I was like, yeah, whatever, nothing's unhackable. And as I started to read the story and really getting insights of how it worked, and I started learning about blockchain before I really understood what Bitcoin was. So for me, it was a different way of getting into it, which I kind of liked, because I had to learn more about blockchain, and then I really started getting into Bitcoin after that. So at least I had a good understanding of how and why Bitcoin is important. And then after that, I kind of went what they call that blockchain rabbit hole, and just never came out. So
Awesome. Okay, and of course, you're one of the industry experts here, particularly for the blockchain platform space. Can you just let us know a little bit about your thoughts on blockchain platforms as they are today and where you think they're headed?
I mean, I think there's some strong blockchain platforms out there. I mean, you look at Hyperledger, you look at Ethereum, you look at Corda, and you see some of the backings by the companies that are starting to adopt leveraging them. I think they're proving themselves right now, but as we know in blockchain, a week on blockchain is like a dog year. It moves fast. And it's not saying there will be, I'd say, one blockchain platform to rule them all. Right. So you have to understand which ones I think now are best to leverage, because you could be switching from to a new one in a year after the leveraging one. So I think people that are new to it, or even companies that are new to it, need to understand that it's no longer the old-fashioned way of, hey, I'm going to choose like an ERP system, and that's what I'm going to stick with. Blockchain is going to say, hey, you need to be flexible of, once you choose this platform, in a year from now, something new or better could be coming out that you might want to move to. Right. And this is a mindset shift of how we're doing business, but also how we look at technology as well.
So just to touch on something you mentioned just a second ago, so are you saying that you think there will be one that rules them all?
No. I'm sorry if I came across that. I said there will not be one that rules them all. Okay. That's what I kind of meant. So, it's in, and you kind of see that in how organizations like an IBM or an Oracle SAP are leveraging Hyperledger. Right. Instead of trying to build their own and saying, oh, ours will be the best out of all of them, they realize that blockchain is such a monster that it makes better to go ahead and leverage and contribute to some of these open source platforms.
Awesome. And another question based on that. So you mentioned Hyperledger and Ethereum. Can you kind of touch on your thoughts about public versus permission blockchains?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, or, look at public permissions, or if you want to look at hybrid as well, I think what it comes down to is what's going to be the needs or what you're using it for. I mean, the public one, it's like, if you have a lot of people that need access to see your information, this is where, public one's going to make the best sense. But most organizations will look at either the permission ones or even the federated ones now to give them more accountability and visibility and control in a way, but still have that audit trail without making it public to everyone. So I think as people start to understand how each one of these platforms start to work, they'll start to realize, maybe I want to leverage this one for part of my business and maybe
Right.
this one for the other part.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Now, I want to move to a little bit of a fun part of it. And so you've taken a look at the 10 companies to judge on the blockchain platforms section.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of rank them from 1 to 10, 1 being best, 10 being worst, in your opinion, and then comment on a few of them?
Yeah, so hold on 1 second. I got some notes I can write this down. So make sure I have everything I want. So looking at those, and it's fun because it's looking at ICOs now is such a different way, because I remember in 2017, and I got the ICO Wild Wild West when everybody was sending me a white paper to read and things like that, and you see these great ideas. Now I think even these projects are being more scrutinized in some ways of how many people are backing it, how many people have this solid, I guess, I'd say experience around what they're talking about. So when I look at things, I try to look at them from the standpoint of, okay, will this be adopted? Will this solve a real world issue that people go, hey, this is going to make life easier for people? And
Right.
And I mean, what I'll do is, it's kind of hard to live in like 1 to 10. So what I do is I'll give you my top 3 that I liked the most.
Okay.
And they were the W12,
Okay.
Equity, and the Project Hydro. I like those 3 just based on, I liked how W12 had already made their regulations approved by the SEC and in different countries, but also making it easier for people that aren't technical to get into set up their STOs and ICOs and how to combine them in a way.
Definitely.
I think it's important when people are starting new with these projects of what's an easy way to get my STO set up or my ICO, and where is it in a platform that's already been approved by regulators. And that's the hardest thing right now in the space, is finding those countries or governments that are going to approve your project that fits their regulations. And that makes it less scary for people to take the risk and get started. So for me, that one definitely stood out at the top. Equity is definitely the other one. And what do I have here real quick? Because I can't remember everything off the top of my head. Equity, here we go. So equity was another good one. And for me, I'm sorry, I don't have enough time here on this one. So as I look at it, we might have to cut this part out. But and the other one was the Project Hydro. I like that one as well. And those, after that, it's YPTO. But Project Hydro was another good platform, I thought, that had some great use that's going to be leveraged by people. And then same thing with equity. When I looked at both of those, I'm like, okay, people, they thought of things beforehand, and they thought of new people joining the space and how they would need to leverage it. And a real use case for them as well. And then as I look at, YPTO, I think that platform, it's a great concept and great idea, being able to leverage all those different points of exchanging fiat and exchanging different cryptocurrencies and having different wallets and the gaming side of it. I thought it's a great idea. It's, if they can bring that to fruition with the right way of doing it,
right.
I think that has definitely a strong way of getting and taking off with adoption. Because there's something out there I think everybody's been talking about. It would be great to have all these things intertwined with each other.
Right.
Or you could exchange your crypto fiat, and it doesn't matter which way it is, or put in a credit card. But making it such an easy process, I think, is what's going to get adoption.
Definitely. All right.
And then as you look at Newconomy, Stactical, also data, those were kind of at the bottom of the list for me. Even the one thing, I like Stactical. Even though they had an MVP, that stands out for me. I like those when they have something that people can play around with. That means that, okay, it's more than just an idea or concept. And the ones that, like India Invest, that one I was a little on the lower side when I looked at it, because I didn't think they had an idea, but I thought it was being leveraged already out there. And maybe, I know people that have more experience with ICOs and STOs, but I think what they're talking about with using goods, maybe there should be an STO instead of an ICO. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess at that one, but that's what I thought about when I kind of read about it.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, so now we've heard from John, and now it's the audience's turn to vote now, and you can vote and rank these projects for blockchain platforms and all the other categories that this conference is about. Please check out the Newconomy website to do so, and of course, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, John, for joining us, and we will catch you guys on the next session.
Thank you.
Hello, dears. Welcome back. Today is second day of our huge conference, and I'm pretty happy to welcome Mark Enstead. He is the head of business development of Project Hydro, and now he is going to talking about his project, Make Presence, and welcome to all of you. Mark, stage is yours.
Thank you, Sergey. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And for everybody watching, I hope you are able to learn something new about while you're watching this conference, and more importantly, what we're doing specifically at Project Hydro and what we're building. So now I'm going to share my screen and basically go through a little bit of a presentation for you guys. Alrighty. Let's move this thing over here. All right. So in essence, Hydro is essentially a decentralized ecosystem for financial services. When it was created, it was basically jump-started by a fintech firm in New York City called Hydrogen Platform. They're a pretty large fintech company, and they're working with a lot of Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies. And they realized back in 2017, when the Equifax hack occurred, there was about 150 million users or consumers that were affected by that leak. And they realized, okay, how can we find a solution for this? How can we make businesses and the end users more secure? And after a bunch of meetings and conferences, they realized we need a blockchain solution, because obviously they've been in the blockchain field or invested in cryptocurrencies for a while. So they had a lot of understanding about what the underlying technology was and how they can bring out a usage for, I guess, both businesses and users alike. So what Hydro is and what we're building are a bunch of smart contracts, APIs, dApps, which is a decentralized application, a dApp store, which is pretty much finished. We're just doing a reskin on it. And of course, the Hydro token. All of our protocols and smart contracts are completely free to build on and integrate for both businesses and users alike. So there are 6 phases as a part of our project. The first phase is Raindrop, and that basically deals with authentication. We'll be diving deeper into each one of these a little bit later on. The second one is Snowflake. The third is Ice. Fourth is Tide. The fifth one is Mist. And the final phase is Hail, which was a little fun fact. Hail was actually an idea that was brought on by one of our community members, and realized that we were able to use different protocols that we were already building to essentially create a new product that is extremely necessary for the future of a lot of the things that we're building. So now let's jump into actual, like the actual phases and what we're doing in each one of them. So the first phase is Raindrop, and that deals with authentication. It basically enables people to build any type of authentication solution. And you're probably pretty familiar with Google Authenticator or Authy, which are probably the two main two-factor authentication solutions out there right now. Raindrop, on the other hand, functions in the opposite manner. So instead of having a user go and enter the 6 digits onto their website, so for example, if you're using Google Authenticator, you always have to go in on your mobile device and enter in 6 digits onto the computer. Like, let's say you're logging in onto an exchange. This could be basically any exchange that you're trading on. And you go in, you enter those 6 digits that are basically using a TOTP algorithm, and you enter those in onto your computer. So what's the issue with that? Like, that's the big question. Well, first of all, you can be extremely prone to phishing. You can be impacted by SIM swaps. And one of the other big issues is that a hacker, once they have your username and your password, they can just create a bot that just spits out random 6-digit numbers and is able to eventually get into your account. And that's a big, big issue because there's a lot of experienced people who have had their accounts breached, even though they're using 2FA. So how does Raindrop work? Okay, it works in the opposite manner. So instead of entering in these 6 digits onto the desktop, you're given those 6 digits on the on like your web page. So let's say you're logging in onto an exchange, whether it's Binance, Wobi, OKEx, or anything like that. Assuming the protocol is integrated, a 6-digit number will be brought up onto the web page, and you're required to enter those 6 numbers onto your mobile device. And it basically connects and communicates via APIs. So the only way that you can log in onto that account is by entering those 6 digits in on that one specific mobile device. So in order to hack in onto that one person's account, they have to hack in onto every single mobile device on the entire network, which is virtually impossible. Not only that, it can help protect you from SIM swaps. It can help protect you from being phished, because if you're logging on to a phishing website, it'll basically say that the code is not correct, and you'll realize, oh crap, like I'm not on the right website. So that's Raindrop in a nutshell for you. The second phase is Snowflake, and we're actually going to be showing a little bit of a demo of what you can do with Snowflake later on. Snowflake, in essence, is a digital identity management protocol, and this enables people to have more control over their user identity. This is basically what we imagined to build after the Equifax hack. So assuming that a company is using a protocol like Snowflake, users are able to have a much more trustless environment and know that their private information is being as secure as possible, as all of this is blockchain based. And some of the things that you can do with Snowflake is not only with KYC and onboarding users, as you'll see later, but you can also build different types of payment applications, or dApps, which is a decentralized application. And that can deal with P2P payments by paying via your EIN, which is your Ethereum identification number. Or you can build lending or mortgage dApps and tie in third-party credit scores to enable a complete trusted environment for all of your users. Our third phase is ICE, and this deals with document management and document signing. So when someone is going to basically sign a document, like let's say you're going to an insurance company. I was doing some work with some life and health insurance, or life and disability insurance a few years ago. And whenever you have to sign a legal document, you always have to have a witness signature. So with ICE, one of the big benefits, and this isn't approved by law yet, but it is something that we're looking to do down the line. And one of the things that you'll basically be able to do is remove the need for a witness signature, because by tying in Snowflake, which is our digital identity management protocol, you are able to prove that when you're signing a document, it is actually you signing it via your biometrics. So by tying in all of these different protocols, it makes for essentially, I mentioned it before, a much more trusted environment. And that's essentially what you want to have when you're dealing with any business or consumer. And with document management, this is going to be really beneficial because we'll be able to leverage IPFS, which is interplanetary file system, and you're going to be able to transfer files easily to anyone, anywhere around the world, and basically tie all of that back to your EIN, which is your Ethereum identification number. Tide is our fourth phase, and this deals with payments, which is obviously a big deal with blockchain and cryptocurrency as a whole. The actual protocol that we're going to be building, which is actually in development right now, enables for recurring payments, so like subscription payments. So let's say you want to go and pay for a subscription on Netflix or Hulu, Amazon, or anything like that, or even to pay your monthly bills for your utilities at your home. This is something that Tide will be very helpful with. We're actually in communication with a lot of different companies to enable a sort of premium feature by enabling virtually any cryptocurrency to be paid on a monthly basis. Now, this is something that's obviously been a very big deal for using smart contracts, because there have been a lot of inabilities for like Bitcoin and Ether to be enabled to do some of these types of things. Now, along with Tide, you're able to build invoicing dApps, gift card dApps, and even interest dApps, because all of these applications are tied back into Snowflake, which is our digital identity management protocol. Our fifth phase is MIST, and this deals with artificial intelligence. With MIST, basically anyone will be able to build and deploy an AI dApp onto their platform, which is obviously a very big deal. I'm pretty sure anybody who is in technology, whether they realize it or not, is using AI probably about 100 times every single day when they're browsing around on the internet. It's kind of a scary thing, but our data is being used for improving artificial intelligence, and basically any SME or MNE, which are small and medium enterprises or multinational enterprises, are going to be able to have access to this. Our sixth phase is Hail. And as I mentioned before, a little fun fact about Hail is that it was brought on by one of our community members. And a lot of people have been gaining a lot of interest with security tokenization, which is what Hail is all about. And with Hail, anybody around the world, whether you're an artist, you own real estate, or you're a company who is trying to build a security token rather than have like a stock for your company, you will able to build and deploy your own security token using Hail. We're in talks with a ton of different organizations right now and different companies who have a lot of interest with security tokenization. A lot of different projects out there right now are in this same type of field, and it's, in my opinion, going to be absolutely massive. Now, along with Hail, we're pretty much bringing a one-stop shop for the end user, which is pretty amazing. With a lot of different projects, they're missing the identity factor, which is something that we're actually able to bring to the table. And we're also planning to build a fully compliant security token exchange. So in essence, with Hail, you're going to be able to build, deploy, trade, buy, and sell security tokens all on one platform, which is obviously a very big deal. So with all of this stuff together, we're pretty much trying to build the decentralized future. And now I'm actually going to give you guys a little bit of a demo about one of the applications that was actually built by one of our team members, Noah Zinsmeister, which is called Snowmo. Oops. All right. So Snowmo is built using the Snowflake protocol, and that is our digital identity management protocol. Now, it is also built with an EIP, which is an Ethereum improvement proposal that we built last fall, which is ERC 1484, which is a digital identity aggregator. And by using both of these, we were able to basically build a P2P payment application similar to like Cash App or Venmo. And with this, people are able to use a permissionless application without even needing to use MetaMask or even know that they're using MetaMask, which is obviously like a really big deal. So what you can do is you obviously go in, you enter the dashboard. And by the way, this is on testnet. We're waiting for Snowflake to be deployed to the mainnet. And that should be done in the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks. We're just basically doing a reskin on our dApp store. So here you are on the wallet. You have your EIN, which is your Ethereum identification number, and you have some testnet Hydro. So what you can do is you can go in and you can send to virtually any EIN. So let's go and send to 100.
Mark, I think you can turn off the presentation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mhm. Good.
Oh, do you want me to still show the SNOMO?
No, no, no.
Oh, so are we good?
Yes, yes. We
Oh,
go ahead. Just continue.
okay, sure.
Mhm.
So what you can do is you can go and send to virtually any EIN and send any amount of hydro to them. So let's send 1,000 hydro, and we can say any type of message that you want if they allow it. So you can go and send it, and once that gets sent, you're just waiting on the transaction for that to be confirmed. And it's done. So now I've sent 1,000 hydro to the EIN 135. One of the other things that you can do with SNOMO is you're able to go in and by using Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, you can go and basically buy on here a digital couch, which is being charged 201 hydro, which is obviously one DAI.
Mark, if you don't mind, yes, we don't have so much time. It's extremely interesting also for me. I really appreciate your great project. You know, in my understanding, you have to spend a lot of time and the huge of resources to implement it. I understood that everything, much more of them is already done, but another kind of them is have to be done. You know, we're just very eager to know where everything is will be ended and launched. Just give us, I don't know, some advice.
Sure. So yeah, Snowflake is the second protocol that we built that is already finished.
Wow.
We're just waiting for. So I should say from the start, Raindrop is completely finished. We already have a bunch of integration partners with that. Already have applications built out on top of it as well. Snowflake is also finished. That's on testnet. We're just waiting for the dApp store to be built out or I'm sorry, it's already built out. We're just doing a reskin on it. And that should be done in the next probably like 30 days or so. And once that's done, we're going to push Snowflake onto the mainnet. ICE is going to be finished in Q2. Tide is our payment protocol, and we've actually already started development on the smart contract for the recurring payments. On a roadmap, we said that was going to be finished by Q3, but obviously, like we're already starting on that. Mist is going to be finished in Q4, and Hail will also be finished. Like the whole scope of it will be finished in Q4. We have already started development on the security tokenization smart contract.
Okay, perfect, Mark. You know, very great project, very interesting, and in my understanding, this is the real future of blockchain industry, which we are realized a lot of problems have to be solved. I think our viewers and online subscribers also go to vote for your project. Yes, and we are looking for the end of this process tomorrow. Mark, thanks a lot for having you here. I wish very good luck to your project, to you, and we are eager to know what's going on our rating between this great battle. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me out here, and for all of you viewers, I hope you learned something, and feel free to come to our Telegram chat or ask us any questions. We're happy to answer them.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Our first client is a new kind of technology and new kind of project. Neural machine from product architecture at that company, Mexico Lab. You're welcome, and you're waiting for you, just your audience, your applause. Thank you. I want to introduce my partner, my friend, who is our partner. Yes.
Our project is NRM, is so-called Euro machine. This is the platform cryptocurrencies assets. So we have so the NRM is the project, so-called Euro machine. It is a platform for managing currencies and assets. Even louder. Okay. We are NRM. My name is Max, and this is Valentin. He's my partner. He's on the commercial side of the project. I'm not a keynote speaker, but I will try. I'm on the product division. So we all have dreams about this market and the decentralization of the whole planet, but there's something wrong with this. Okay, next. There's something wrong is that the stacks that we are seeing right now, the crypto market is still driven and will be, as we think, by retail investors. And 80% of people are people with currencies less than one Bitcoin. So what's the problem? The problem is that not qualified investors lose their money too fast for the market. And this is the problem. 70% lose their money in 1 month only. So the market is like a bucket with the holes right now. If we are trying to reach the holy grail of decentralized future, we just losing these people. We just losing these people. So the next step will be that, yeah, the main reason of losing money is so simple, and every trader knows this reason. If you trade with any leverages and margins, but with no risk management, this is a matter of time when you will lose it all for you and for your client. And some of professional funds can handle it, but the price for onboarding is too high. The onboard rate is too high. The traditional funds that we know is about 100,000 minimum to start for onboarding. And we are talking about funds that can handle risk management program, so they can guarantee their clients that they will not lose their money. It is very important. And cryptocurrency and crypto funds are more than 10 Bitcoins to start work. But the second thing is a traditional fund can guarantee on a legal agreement that they have this risk management, but crypto funds, they know nothing about legal and risk management. It's all about the greed, because investors want their money and they want it now and maximum extent or something, and then they will lose it all. Next. The second problem is that it is too complex for any decision on the market that will help to manage the assets for individual retail, so-called retail investor. It is too complex. Next. That's it. So if we will lose all these people, the next step will be the huge whales and companies such as JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs that will come to market and monopolize. So the dream about decentralization and the future, we'll lose it. So if we cannot find any way to make it work for millions of people, okay, blockchain is dead, crypto is dead. It is one more traditional market. So the solution, it should be some kind of system that links crypto managers and retail investors in a very secure and simple way. Very secure way, because people just lose their money and they are non-professionals, so they lose their money too quick. So this is our platform. So the solution is it is the machine, the simple investing for end users. You can you can buy cryptocurrency in a very simple way, and the main thing that you will not lose your money. We will see it later. And the second is a management platform for asset managers to handle all these crazy hundreds of people with low small amounts of money. How does it fix these problems? The first one is a native risk management model. So this is the machine. You can choose your asset manager or trader according to statistics, And the thing is to design your risk management at the start, right before you give your assets to management. Next, this is the example of this decision. So the maximum drawdown rate of your deposit will be designed in the start of your journey, as in a huge professional fund, but built on a smart contract and fully optimized. Next, but this is the interface for professional part, when trader can manage his risks and his strategy before he lists his strategy and his account for additional money. Next, and this is an example of work of this of the second part, the professional one. It is called Trading OS, Trading Operation System, and this is how it works.
Play.
Ссылка.
Ссылка. Ссылка тут открывается.
Can we show the video? It's full.
Да это было по-другому, да это все.
Hello, before your video is starting, I have from our chat one question, close to 1 billion question. Where are you been at 2018? Really? Just you have a very big.
I had a story because this is my experience actually. Before I take myself and my team to this decision, we have to lose a lot of money.
Yes, it's just experience.
It's our experience, and the best things are simple, and every trader knows this.
Perfect. Now we are ready for video.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the showcase of the professional part of the product. It helps you to manage portfolio. It is constructed on the Kanban principle. Like you see when you separate the parts of your work on the like on the conveyor. It is constructed with blocks and nodes. We will see this later. Right now, this is the conveyor Kanban principle. When you have a lot of digital assets in the beginning, you have your head just banging out. So you have to manage it in some kind, then push it forward and manage in details. So this is the node structure. Then when you can design your data streams and construct your trading strategy on these data streams. You can link one part to another part and have something. For instance, this was a Twitter data stream that can be used for your daily usage of materials. So this is hobby, this is the pair. You choose your pair. And then you have your language. If you want to showcase this in a visual language, okay, all you need is just one module. This is like the simple program code. We have the sentence if so. So if RSI index will be from 0 to 70, then we should do something. For instance, start a sale, the amount of XRM that this is very tough professional thing for traders, but the thing is that it is operating system. It is built with blocks. So this thing will help you manage multiple accounts of your clients and handle this stuff. Because when you are a fund or asset manager, you have to rate up your onboarding price just to manage it. When it is fully automated, you can really manage hundreds and hundreds of people. And this is the thing that we need to grow as a decentralized market. not only few major players, but hundreds of players that can be anyone with small amounts of money. Next, so benefits of professional funds now are available for non-simple users. That's it. Next. And this is our goal, like the mission, to make crypto mainstream. This is what this market needs, and we believe in. We are very open for passionate and solid teammates, such as funds who have problems, but funds who want to manage multiple assets and multiple users, and of course, technological freaks who are our team. This is our thesis. So that's it.
Okay, perfect. Keep it up. Yes, you know, if you don't mind, I have one personal question. You know, all of us really, and actually, we're crypto money holders at this moment, and we are just eager to know what's the risks of your platform. Where is the risks if everything is so easy?
Let us show you MVP in a month, and we will see the risks. The risks is maybe in a technological war, but we are dealing our risks with exchanges. We don't want to hold clients' money on our own platform. The risks are possible, but they are only on the technological side of the exchanges mostly. That is why we are starting to have partners as exchanges to work together. Risks, let me say smart contracts where you write down your risk strategy dealing with the partner, the trader, it will be worked.
Okay, you know, today with us a lot of also cryptocurrencies, exchanges, which are they going to represent their platform. I think you as company, as project owner, and somehow being collaborated with him. I wish you good luck. I'm being at all of you online with our audience. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay.
mass adoption of cryptocurrencies, there are more and more tools appearing, more exchanges and more wallets. So Newconomy team decided to make a little review which will guide you in the huge crypto wallet world. Today we'll do a test drive of 3 wallets, Ginka wallet, Bitcoin OX and Edge wallet. Let's start with Edge wallet. Easy registration. It requests only username, mail address and a password. And here's a super cool feature. When you create a password, it shows how long will it take to hack your wallet. For mine password, it will take you guys centuries to hack it. That's funny. Then you're creating a PIN code to enter the app in future, which is also nice. However, it takes a few seconds to finalize the registration. The wallet supports a lot of altcoins, easy usage. Great thing about this wallet is that you can exchange your fiat money for the financial assets. Supports a lot of altcoins, easy usage. Great thing about this wallet is that you can exchange your fiat money for the financial assets. Next wallet is one I use currently, it's Ginka wallet. Here you can add as much currencies as you want. Nice interface with the latest price changing, no passwords are requested when entering the app, but I actually like this feature because it's annoying to enter it every time you use the app to look at whatever you want to look. Here you actually have to enter PIN code when you transfer assets. I think it's a brilliant idea. So they have some news which can help you as signals for buying and selling crypto assets. And what I like the most about this application, about this wallet, is that it sends your actually notifications when you received assets. For me, it's crucial important because when I receive crypto, I usually convert it into fiat right away so that I don't lose money on the price difference on this crazy market. Here you also have portfolio, market balance, and your own airdrop wallet. And the last but not least is the Bitcoin OX wallet. It supports all the top currencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum. One of the coolest things I like about this wallet is that you can choose the speed of transaction from cheap and regular to the faster one, which requires a small additional fee. But you know, when your life is super busy and you don't want to waste your time on waiting, this is the thing you would love. Another cool feature is for people who value privacy. Bitcoin OX wallet generates new Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash addresses every time funds are received, and you can actually choose the one you like the most. Each public addresses your wallet generates is based on your wallet extended public key, so that each time you receive funds, your wallet will use the XPub to generate new receiving addresses. Bitcoin OX supports Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, which means that you can easily recover your wallet. As you can see, there are a number of wallets with cool features, and everyone can choose the most convenient wallet for him. However, this is still more safe to keep your assets on the cold wallets, I think. But if you have small amounts, it's super easy to have a wallet application on your phone, especially if you have stores where you can purchase with crypto. And actually later on today I will go to buy some goods for crypto here in Tokyo, so you guys will make sure how super easy and super fast is that. So if you are ready, let's go. Hello and konnichiwa, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to make a purchase in one of the biggest retail chain here in Tokyo named Bigcamera. And of course, we're going to make a purchase with crypto. I have a Bitcoin OX wallet, so let's use it and give it a try. Okay, so entering our wallet, have some Bitcoins there, and here we go. I'm willing to buy the new AirPods with Bitcoin. I'm actually creating the QR code which I'm using to send my Bitcoin. Okay, using QR code. Here, send. Got it. Success. Okay, you saw it. Just took us really seconds, and I got my tax-free, which is a little bonus, right? Yeah, and I got my AirPods. So purchase with Bitcoin and Bitcoin OX.
Welcome to Newconomy.media. I'm Blaine Gates. Welcome, everyone. Today we have an exciting guest. For thousands of years, people have been looking to fortune tellers to understand the future. And now we're looking to Andrew Osin. He's a PhD in computer science and a mathematician. Hello, Andrew.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I can just in brief. I'm PhD in computer science, like you said, and I finished one of the famous Moscow University, and I worked in some companies, technology company like Huawei, and now I'm working for the company in Moscow here for the prediction of some new thing, and now we can go to this topic.
Fantastic. So you have an exciting new product. Can you tell us a little bit about the future?
Oh, yeah. This product is related to our nearest future. We are focused on the data comes from the market, the cryptocurrency market, and we know that all of the investors in this market interested in the nearest future. For example, what's the prices for the pairs will the in the nearest week, for example, for the next day, day after next, and the other days. And our products try to make the accurate forecast for this situation. And our product related not only the cryptocurrency market, but also we are working with other stocks with real things like currencies and gold, silver, and many other things. We can try to predict everything that we can collect based on the data.
Fantastic. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people discuss different patterns in the charts, and they try to say, well, this is what happened in the past, and so this is what's going to happen in the future. But you're actually using math. Can you explain a little bit more how it works?
Yes, I think everybody try to use math, and if you are good in it, you try to do it better and better. We have a very good team, some Doctor of Science, PhD, and other technical staff who help us to be more confident in this topic. And of course, we know about all the models that already used in this area, and we use some regression approaches, we use time series approaches, we use machine learning, neural networks, all of this, we know about this, and we use this information and combine it all together in order to be more accurate. We try to improve our forecasts based on this. But also we introduce our own approaches based on our own ideas. It's, for example, we try to find the dependencies between the data now that we have now and the data we can collect now. It means that if something changed now, maybe it will depends on the something will be changed in the future. It's a very simple explanation of the algorithms and approaches we use. And also we use some hypothesis approach that help us to combine different forecasting methods, because sometimes it's for good, sometimes it's not. That's why we need to understand which methods we believe more. This is also our own controlling method for the forecasting. So we have more than 200 forecast methods now in our portfolio, and we try to control it more efficient based on our own ideas.
All right, so your new product helps
an investor to reduce the number of possibilities that might be in his mind for which cryptocurrency he might invest in, or stocks and bonds?
Yeah, our main purpose is how to predict the trends, when the trends will start to change, when it will be start to grow, and then start to drop down. This is the most interesting points for all the investors. Currently, we talking about 1 week. For example, we try to understand the situation for the next week for the investors. Will be the changes happened, for example, and this is the main focus of our algorithm now.
Oh, can you tell us a little bit about, like, specifically, what are the benefits that a client might get from your company that they might not get from one of the competing products?
The benefits, it's of course, it's worked online on the fly. We try to produce the very fast algorithm that can help help the investors get the information not only the daily base, but we try to switch from daily to hour based predictions. It must be very fast algorithms and fast and accurate. This is the important. And also we try to make the choice for the investors, because investor has a lot of such kind of algorithms, and whom to believe better. It's our task. We need to choose the best algorithms that we believe give the investors better forecasting in the nearest future. This is also our important task.
Well, it sounds like your product is about guessing the future. Can you tell me what your future is going to be like? How are you guys going to change, and how are you going to adapt to any new products or changes in the market?
It's a very interesting question. I think if our products will give the good results, it will have a very great future and everybody will use it, and everybody will try to understand and use it for their own business. I think this is the main important point for all the people who try to use the forecasting.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. That's really exciting news, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Okay, see you later.
Our next speaker is Azor Daurov from Newconomy. I'm happy to introduce him because he's also one of the members of our DAO good community. Azor, you are with us. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, stage is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Anzor. I'm from EOS and Newconomy. EOS is the next generation blockchain with the reputation system made for social transactions, for reputation, and we've also created the functionality for DAOs. And well, first of all, I'd like to cover more about DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So essentially what it is in simple terms, it's I guess the next stage in democracy. So a community or organization with the power for the people. So in DAO, people can actually influence the decisions of the organization and community, and influence the initiatives to distribute funding and to distribute the wealth and income of this organization inside the community according to the rules that everybody agrees on. So why is this important today? Because until now, it's been very difficult to actually create and operate DAOs because there wasn't enough technical availability for that. Why? Because to operate DAO, we believe that you have to have a certain system of reputation and a certain decentralized foundation for that. So we at EOS and Newconomy have created a platform that allows you to do just that. And I'm going to show you what we've created. I'm going to show you how to actually join one of the future DAOs how to become the pioneers, because you actually are about to become the pioneers of this new movement, of this new trend, and I welcome you into it. So now I'm going to demonstrate the platform that we created for this. Okay, so does it look okay? I think, yeah, cool. So this is Community, a platform for social interactions on blockchain, for community creation and operation for decentralized communities. And everything here is built on blockchain. So every action people take on this platform is done on blockchain. Every like that you're used to, every dislike, every share, follow, or a special thing we call trust happens on blockchain, and it's completely transparent and traceable, and you can understand what was the cause of someone's rise in reputation, for example. So we have this little number in here, and in here, and well, essentially in here, this is the list of people with those numbers. This number is called importance, or as we otherwise call it, reputation. So it's formed based on the feedback on the other members of the network, and it aggregates the value that people bring into the. So despite all that, it's really easy to interact with. We made sure that despite it being a new, very new and early technology like blockchain, it's 10 years old, we made sure to bring you the most user-friendly experience, and now I'll show you how to actually join this platform and how to join the Newconomy community and how to become a part of a DAO. So it's pretty easy. You just push signing and then you create a new account. And a new window opens. There's some limitations for now, of course. Well, this is blockchain, but it's pretty easy. So the character name should be 12 characters long and lowercase only, and can only contain Latin letters and numbers from 1 to 5. So we'll create a new user now. We'll call it now user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's exactly 12 symbols, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So then you just proceed, and then the brain key, essentially your password, gets generated automatically by system. This is to ensure complete security and complete availability for you to own your data. So you move your mouse and the password generates. So here it is, and it's actually 12 words with spaces. I know it's not usual for social platforms to actually generate you a password like that, but there's a reason for that. Recently, especially recently, we've been screwed many times by large companies taking our private data, taking our user data into their hands, and using it for their own gains with no regard to our well-being. And for you to actually own this, for you to own your digital identity, you have to take a little more responsibility, and this just includes in you copying this password. So it's just 12 words. We'll just quickly copy it to our notepad, and then we have to proceed with verification of those words. So yeah, it just says just copy it and save it. So we have to enter the words again, just 2 more words. So it should be this one and this one, and that's it actually. Okay. My bad, I didn't actually copy them well enough. Okay, you have to get rid of the spaces, I guess. Okay. Okay, so then you answer it, but you have to save it. So make sure to save it. And here's our user. Here's the profile that we have. You can, it's well empty now, but you can upload a photo. You can upload, edit the info of the profile. You can add your other social networks. Well, generally it's just, well, mostly like other social networks. You can post in your feed, just like that. It's the small post. You can also attach images to it, and well, it's just like in any other social network, but every action actually happens on the blockchain. This piece of content is on the blockchain. Whenever someone uploads it, it actually gets into the blockchain. Now, we also have the wallet functionality inside the platform. You can have EOS tokens and other tokens in here displayed. You can see resources, but we won't add that now. So essentially, to get those tokens, you have to interact with people, other people, and content on the platform. You have to create something valuable that people perceive as valuable and get those likes, I guess. So right now, likes actually matter. And okay, so I'll show you the community now for that Newconomy has created for the DAO. So I'll provide a link for that for you to enter it. So here's the new conference community. You can join it just like that. Okay, yeah, we have to reload. Sorry. Yeah, now we're logged in. We have to push this button to join. And yeah, here we are, and to actually allow Newconomy to have a DAO, we've already issued a special tokens for Newconomy DAO. To get them, you have to go through the steps that I showed you to register the account, to join the New Conference DAO, and then to tell the Newconomy guys your nickname in the special application form. And you'll get the DAO tokens, and it will allow you to be one of the pioneers of the DAO movement. So, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, there it is. So that's it. By all means, go and explore the possibilities of the new technology, of the new blockchain platform that allows people to actually gather reputation to create and operate decentralized autonomous organizations such as Newconomy. By the way, it will be one of the first ones. So yeah, thank you for your attention.
Azor, are you with us? Yes, thank you for your time also. Yes, thank you audience. Yes, just being with us, just being your close. We have one question for you. Just
yeah, sure.
Do we should somehow get prepared for using this new kind of DAO expectation or DAO technology or not? Because here in our offline audience, we are already getting out what it is. But for our online users, maybe we are going to use it, or maybe we're going to use it, understand from the scratch. Maybe someone, any information about that, where we can cut for a bit a little more. Because before starting,
read a little bit more about DAOs.
Yes, we have to know about that technology, about that community.
Yeah, you can read about Community at eos.net. That essentially will tell you about the technology of behind EOS and behind Community. You can also actually, when you're not registered, you can actually, I will show very quickly, you can, when you're not registered, you'll see the front page of Community like this. And there's some info in here already, so it just shows you what this is about, and essentially tells you some of the things I've already told you. You can actually even create a post quickly right here and publish it right away after you register. So yeah, it's pretty easy, and You can go to us.network to read more about why we're doing what we're doing with US and U community, about reputation, about problems we're solving with this technology and how it's working. And here's a few links in here to the community, to our yellow paper, and yeah, how to use, well, you can join the community from here. Here's our team, so in our office. Yeah, so essentially these are the two resources to go to. Yeah, so.
Okay, we got your point. Yeah, thanks a lot for your time, Waspor. Now we are going forward. Now we're going to disconnect with you, if you don't mind. Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jose Ortega, and welcome to the Market Challenge and the battle of the top 50 companies. Thank you for joining us today here at Newconomy Conference, where we will be talking to many experts in the field and get their thoughts and see who they voted for and what they think about the individual projects in the space as a whole. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors at BitPax today. Today, we have Athanasios from Lapo.io. Welcome, Athanasios.
Thank you for the invitation, guys, and the opportunity to giving me to participate in that competition and help you choose the best companies in the blockchain fintech area. How can I be of help to you?
Well, yeah, thank you for joining us today. You're already doing a lot by joining us today and taking time from your day to give us your expert opinion on all these things. So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and tell us a little bit more about Lapo.io?
Sure. I'll start by explaining briefly Lapo. Lapo is an ecosystem. It's a fintech company, an ecosystem of financial services, including money transfer, money transactions. The company has got its own developed blockchain and wallet, and is moving to stage 2, where one of the most important things it would be to create the stabilization mechanism behind its utility token, the Lapo X. Now, the whole idea here is to create a mechanism that differentiates it from the rest of the stable coins, where it absorbs volatility and creates value by converting this volatility, the market volatility, into a real asset, hence increasing the value of the coin. And my role in the company as Chief Investment Officer is to draft this, to design this system, and with the help of the IT team to implement it, as well as implement the liquidity mechanism of the coin.
Cool. Sounds wonderful. Thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about the fintech market at the moment and things that maybe we should know about going forward?
In my opinion, there are 3 major challenges that the fintech is facing, and in my belief, will continue to face in the short to medium term. One has to do with data, the general data